Hola, Tashidele to everyone. Good evening or good morning or good afternoon, depends on the country where you are from. So to everyone, so here today, I'm going to teach very basic practice of the 5 elements, how it is effectively beneficial in our everyday life if we could practice and have little knowledge of the importance and the qualities and the practice, simple way of practice. According to general level, because the 5 element is not only important our individual practice level, but it's a whole universe that where we are existing now, it is collectively constructed or existing on the composition, power, and quality of these 5 elements. So which everybody know. What I am talking about, the 5 element, is not something new that you will hear, but it's the same thing that you have heard by name, like we call earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, and space element. So ancestors' time, in a Burn tradition, this practice has a very highly respected, practiced, and this is corresponding to all sort of level of practice, to a very simple way and in a performing kind of simple way, in a ritualistic way and performance, or symbolical indications of the meanings, and like example for colors, directions, symbols, has impact too in our everyday activities. And then deeper level, it is also that more in a pure sense of level, more in a energy level, more in a quality of light. We also talk about advanced level of teaching in a tantra or the esoteric teachings. We call it sangha, the method and the path of transformation. And then even more further and advanced, we also still corresponding these 5 elements internally practicing and conceptualizing it in our practice in meditation, indicating through symbols, objects, and then gradually integrating in this our practice according to the path of self-liberation. We call it Dzogchen, the great perfection. And now everybody are familiar with these names and what are the 5 elements. And nowadays everyone, globally, people talks about importance of the preserving the environment, which is basically we are talking about all those sort of things. People are engaging in a different activities, so-called a green peace or green project. What simply means that the external quality of these 5 elements directly affects to our life. We individual, we inhabitants are being directly involved. So we see the importance, like we need a pure water, good water, sufficient water. We need a stable earth, perfected and well-grounded and well-nourished earth. And we need also the pure water, as we say, and pure air where we breathe in and out. We need enough, all those quality and wind or air elements. We need also the balance of the temperature, heat or warmness, not too cold, not too hot. Too hot also is not healthy, too cold also not healthy, that everybody knows, right? Imbalance of these, any of the 5 elements, is directly affecting externally or internally to your own self. So, from our part, according to the Burn tradition, how we could benefit ourselves by practicing wisdom of Burn tradition, which has a long history of its existence, more than 18,000 years of the history. And the enlightened teacher Tomba Shenab has taught already then. From then on up until now, the generation after generation, this kind of wisdom, culture, tradition in a Burn tradition, which is native religion of Tibet, is still existing and preserving an equal beneficial quality level, effective level, then and now, no difference. Only difference is, then people were highly respected, highly pressurizing these sort of teachings and passing through generation after generation to their future. But nowadays, we, 21st century society and mankind are so much distracted. We are looking forward to have all this balanced quality of 5 elements: happy life, healthy life, peaceful life, calm, joyful life. But same time, what we are engaged with in order to achieve all sort of these qualities, sometimes we are being cautious of our own self to disdaining those achievements. Instead, we being victim of our own self created destructive toward the external and internal elements and imbalance and effects to our life. And we are going through a lot of challenges, and that everybody is witnessing now globally. What we could do now the best according to Burn wisdom and tradition. So this, what I am teaching here, is very simple, short. Basically, it's kind of like a general introduction to the practice. You see, we as a human being, these 5 elements, if we use it in properly, if we have all in a balanced level, it is very supportive, beneficial, and nourishing in our life. If we are lacking it one, or if we are imbalance of one, then we become challenging and difficult and struggling because of one. So in a practice, there are certain ways that practice. First, to understand the well nature of these powers of each element. Then to understand and how these are corresponding in each and every our day, in our day-to-day life. You see, for example, in a material level or raw level, we are now talking about solid elements, earth, where we are existing and living now. And then we are talking about water that we are drinking, that we are using for many other purposes that is directly connecting in our everyday life in many ways. Then we talk about the temperature, climate, according to the different climate, different temperature, and the heating or the warmness that we are connected directly. We need the heat or the warm or that quality of that fire quality, not so much over, not so much insufficient. We need a balanced level, right? If either one is either too much or either too less, then we are in problem. Then we face the problem. And likewise, as an air element, We need air, but we need a quality air. We need air, we need a sufficient amount of air, right? We need air that has a quality that if we breathe in, it nourishes, it supports, it gives a strength of positive and quality energy. And above all, we also need a sufficient space within and also externally outward there. That very space, pure space, free from the all pollutions of externally and external destructive forces, as well as emotional, individual, internally, emotional level, unpolluted from either of these. We need a pure space of clean and openness, where we could exist, where we could grow, where we could move, where we could expand, where we could manifest. Ultimately, nature, if we go beyond the raw material level, gross level of the elements, then with the practice of an understanding of these nature's qualities, when we are being little knowledge about it, educate about it, then we see the further deeper level of more potential crossing the boundary or limit of gross and material or raw level of element, which has a deep meaning and essence. Then it goes beyond the raw level, it goes to the light, the 5 different color of light. Each color, yellow color of light, which represent the earth element. Blue color of light, which represent the water element. Red color of light, which represent the fire element. The green element, which represent the air or the wind element. And the space color is the white. And if we are able to communicate the true potencies of this each symbolical color that appears into the essence of this raw element that we are corresponding physically, but mentally in our wisdom or discovering level, if we could communicate these more in an essence and a secret level, and that's the way we kind of experience and discover and corresponding each color to the 5 elements. And each of these, through our meditation, we transformed in a quality level, energy level. Through this meditation, we are able to transforming quality of our this solid physical body. For example, according to Burn wisdom and tradition, we believe that this very physical body, it is a collective composition of the lights and energy network. And that light, gross level or raw level, is the 5 elements. Symbolically, these 5 elements represent by our physical form of this material body. Like example, so-called our flesh and the solidity of any part of our body, it is known as element of earth element quality or symbol. We call in Tibetan, we call it sha, means flesh and all solidness in our body. In second one, anything that is existing and make this flesh body survive and alive. Fluidity, that we call water element, which is mum syllable, the blue color in symbolically. Yeah? And this is a water element. Anything that is like a blood, we call a tak. Particularly, we call a blood that is the liquidity and the fluid. Beside all, anything that is flowing in our body and running in our body, type of the blood, all of them are known as a water element, symbolically or corresponding to it. Then, anything that is existing in our body, the temperature that we call hot temperature or the fire type temperature, the heat, the warmness, anything that has a warmness part of in our body, which is corresponding to fire element. And then that which is carrying and running into the flow of energy, and that is like also breathing, that we call the wind element or the air element. Air element, that is something that without having that air quality, we can't breathe. Right? Without breathing, then that's the problem. And that is what we call as long as we are breathing, we are known as life. The moment we stop breathing, we declared as we are dead. Right? So, this is the air element. And after all, these four elements and so-called our practically life, existing life, to happen all this in one body and make it all able to run in together as a form of this structure so-called body, it is all based on that very much space we call emptiness, the spacious level, empty space. Because of that spacious nature or empty nature of our space quality in every part of this element and every part of our existing so-called body, that is the fifth. So these five symbolical or corresponding physical body is to the deeper sense of five elements are symbolically connecting to these fives. And these internal in our organ and also directly have a corresponding to our five organs. Right? So each of these five elements connecting to these five organs, when we are completing this life, means when we are dying, for example, there is a gradual kind of process of dissolution of our five elements. This is very detailedly mentioned in many different text practices, particularly in the process of pardo, process teaching of intermediate, in between the death and the next life. The pardo. In a pardo, you appear the experiences of appearance of these all different lights, colors. And then if you are well educated and train yourself these knowledges, you will able to realize which stage you are now, how far you are there, because you are able to measure or notify yourself that I am now dissoluting this organ which connects to this physical and that element, so now this and that. So that is what the practitioners or who have knowledge about this, they can well prepare it, easily and joyfully they can simply follow the path of that very date. And that is nothing scary and that is nothing strange, but simply it's like you are well prepared to traveling or touristing or trekking somewhere with full knowledge of where you're going, what you need to prepare it, then you won't be suspicious and surprised and wonder where you go if you are well prepared. It is very much like that. You educate now, you are well aware of what are the indications, and then when you know about it, you are just acknowledging it, you are just relaxing and prepare it, and then you are ready to go. This has to do with so the organ, for example, splint, serpa in Tibetan we call it. Splint is the symbolical connection and representing the earth element. And splint is one of the very important part of our body to make ourselves whole function, right? So then the second one, the water element, organ level, it is connecting to kidney. Kidney is more quality and a connection to the water element. And that is also equally important. If one of our kidney is being damaged, not function well and not in healthy state, and we are in a great danger and trouble, right? And that affects too many other parts of the body, because kidney is the center of one of the main kind of organ. And then the liver as well. Liver is a fire element connection, and symbolically that organ level is a fire element. Equally same and important. And then the lung, that breathing comes through, and if the lung is not pumping well, lung is not receiving and not expelling the air or the elements of the wind, we will have again the same problems, serious problems. Then the space element and organ level is the heart. Heart is the most functioning, important part of our surviving. And the nature of that very heart, deep inside, is the nature of space that is allowing and having generation of capacity that, so these 5 elements of outer physical level, internal organ level, and then the middle as a light level, and ultimately all integration to the essence. These are very important. It is not something that, just knowing a little bit about element, but if we are able to apply that knowledge in our everyday conscious of life, which will have a great impact and benefit, and we can still remain healthy in a many sense. So through different ceremony and rituals, prayers, meditations, has this all potentials to nourish us, resourcing, re-energizing, protecting, so all different type of. When we do perform like a ritual and ceremonies when somebody is unhealthy, there are many reasons of rituals and ceremonies to perform. So in order to bringing the kind of life force energy and transmitting it, placing it where it belongs, in a full state of energy, or full state of quality, which directly indicates to these organs, and these organs directly connects to the wheels, the energy points. In a Tibetan we call kolo. In a Sanskrit they call a chakra, right? So the points of the chakras are directly connected to these organs. So chakras are the one which is supplying the energy. And that energy is in the form of light, in the form of energy. It's not in the form of solid object that you can see and feel like organs, or the raw element like earth or water or the tree and so on and so forth. It's not like that. It's more of light, more of energy, more of even the form of integration of the ultimate nature of those all element is the spacious nature of, or another word say, integration of emptiness and the clarity, the clear light. So in other words, emptiness of that very space of each and every aspect of all these 5 elements, and including our so-called body and including our nature or mind, it's all are naturally no other than the single essence of union of what you call the emptiness and the luminosity, the clarity. So therefore the meditation in everyday life, it's a very, very important. Important also with the proper channel, proper teaching, proper instruction from qualified master, which has an authenticity of transmission of lineage, which has a trustworthy transmission lineage of sourceable, searchable the sources of the teachings, qualified teachings. It has a more beneficial and a power and quality. Once you have those, then you doesn't necessarily have to be believer on, because to make yourself healthy and happier doesn't necessarily need to believe on any believing. It's your choice. But this, whether you believer or non-believer, but still you are holding this equally. You have 5 organs, you have 5 physical body structures, and you have these elements, 5 elements. You have connection to the external elements, internal element. It's everyone, believer, non-believer, doesn't matter. What you believe doesn't matter. That's your belief. But physically we all, earth element is equally to earth element as earth, water as a water, fire as a fire, wind as a wind, spacious and emptiness is emptiness, equal. Doesn't matter, right? Likewise, everyone needs knowledge, education of these minor things. You see, these days we have so many sicknesses are arising. Lot of stress, lot of depressions. People going after many different hopes from this and that. But still you don't get satisfactory, beneficial. Because thing is that many thing is in you, yourself need to work on it. If you don't put yourself seriously in that action to make yourself happier and healthier, no medication can make you everlasting happiness. No any kind of medication will put you total balance and pure balance, everlasting balance of your 5 elements and mental calm and happiness. No. We ourselves has a great ability to do and responsibility to do. So therefore I choose this particular topic so that we all could make little effort of time starting from now. Starting from now, in the middle of this kind of 21st century busy life, hardly having time together with family, friends, hardly having time to eat and relaxingly with family, or your children or your friends. Running, and come back with full of stress, sleeping with full of stress, wake up with full of stress, and then later on after a few years, you will discover any kind of sickness that is uncurable, which is nowadays very much commonly appearing. These things we can cure, we can avoid it by from the very beginning, positively putting at least, if not 1 hour, at least 30 minutes of your one day out of 24 hours. We dedicate for our own self, for our own good course and for our own future. Spend for meditation. put on effort to look inwards, nourishes your inner self. Going to gym, spending a lot of money and exercise itself is good to keep physically. But if you don't keep physically healthy along with the mental healthy, mental balance, mental energy needs to be more pure, stronger, strength and clarity and empty with a full of light and joy and happiness. It won't work only going every day to gym or exercising and lift up this and that. Warming up your body make you in a physical structure maybe a little in a shape. But mentally, the thing is mentally imbalancing. Each these 5 elements have a short introduction or practice, and each of these have a symbolical hand gestures, and each of these has a syllable which represent the potential energy of each of these elements, through which we meditate and try to try to generate that sense of quality of that very elements in our body, in our blood, in our channels, in our mind. Especially in our mind, when we are meditating, we are meant to be connecting directly to that potencies. When we are receiving it in our meditation, and then we are able to transform or transmit it into physical level through channels, through the energy points, and then to our organs. Each of these will nourishes our structure, 5 symbol of the 5 elements which I told you, that flesh body, this body, the blood and fluidity, the fire, the temperature, and then the air, the wind, which is growing, which is flowing, which makes grow, and then after all generating the spacious within that, creating more spacious, releasing the stress, releasing the depressions, and generating more pure space, lighted space, open space, that where you can relax, flexible. I know in 1 hour we are not going to do much, but this simple short method, what I am trying to do is just as a preliminary and a basic level to introduce, so that you can kind of stick on these practices. It will make you great impact in your life. You can witness that. You will experience. You do it, you will experience it. So basically, for example, 5 syllables which we have the come syllable, for example, earth element, which is a come syllable, the yellow color, yellow syllable, you can see it. That come is the representing the true space, focus of energy, quality and patience of that, the earth element. With visualizing that earth element from that yellow syllable, because that very yellow syllable, the essence of each of these elements is connecting to each of the goddesses of the each elements. And furthermore, it goes to the enlightened Buddha of 5 families and the 5 color of light and so forth, 5 wisdom. So through this simple meditation, what I want to say is here, like that is the yellow color is the syllable, come syllable. In Tibetan we call come. And when you are not necessarily, if you are not able to know which part of elements you need to develop and you are lacking, if you go further deeper, maybe you will able to know. But here, generalizing, I say, just think of this, each of syllable, and try to practice, because this is not so much of what you call detail and large. I'm going to short instruction, you know. So kind of this hand gesture, you make a hand gesture kind of preparing while you are chanting the Kam. So you chant this 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 according to your stability and clarity of your focus of meditation, and imagining that, and imagining the pure, nourishes, perfected, the earth element, and which the potential energy that corresponding to your physical, imagining that all potencies of the earth element of globe or universe, you are kind of in the form of yellow light, color of yellow light. It arises within that syllable and transmit to you, and while you are chanting, feel that is entering into and connect to your spleen. Enter into your spleen and feel that all this quality of that yellow light through your spleen, it is being transmitting in your all part of your body. And then you meditate, feel that from crown to the feet, sole feet, that are connected with the pure energy of that very elements, earth elements. Feel you have balance all. Feel that entering that very pure energy of earth element, you have expelled or removed the impure, unhealthy element that is lacking and blockage, all being transformed, and you have filled with a very fresh, pure element of the earth. So until you feel comfortable sense of feeling of that is being entered, you meditate on it. You chant as long as you feel you need it, and then you can contemplate and sense more feel and connection that earth element. So I want you all join and contemplate, receive that energy, and feel it is moving into each and every the channels, nerves and pulse, each and every, and especially to those all channels that are connected directly to our energy points, kolo or the chakra, and to our organs, and feel that is being running into your body, and you have felt, and you have been healed, you have been balanced, you have been energized, and feel that until you feel satisfactory that it is well kind of spread all part of your body, and you are sufficiently feel comfortable with. So now the second one is the water element, which is a blue mum syllable. In the color, it is a blue that we traditionally, that's the water color we believe. So imagining the same way and imagining the potentials of universal energy of the water element, quality in the form of light, in the direction wise, it is the earth element is coming from east. Imagining that way. And then when you are doing it water element, imagining at the syllable blue. And then the symbol, again, same way, you are preparing like 2-3 times as your comfortable level you feel you're ready with. And then you chant the mum syllable, which is the water element syllable. So you chant as convenient until you feel you're ready to connecting that the blue light coming from south direction as the clear wisdom energy of the goddesses from the south, that water goddess. And then it is being transmitted in your kidney. The light first enter into the kidney, through kidney it spread again as before into every part of your body. Feel it and be in the presence of that, aware of sensing that blue light. In the form of light, you have received the true potencies of the water element essence or energy quality into your body, so that any lackage in the kidney, which is symbolical corresponding physical level, is a water element, and that all aspect of the fluidity that is being connected or corresponding to the water element are being fully purified, fully re-energized, fully nourishes, fully energy quality of life of the water freshness, healing, energy into your part of each and every cell of your body is being receiving it. Fill it with that potential. And chant until you feel that whole connected, the water element, that through the light to your kidney and then to all part of your body. And then you chant, again you meditate. Oh, yeah. So the third one is now fire element. Same way, it's symbolically, it's a red ram syllable. In ram is the seed syllable of the fire energy, fire, that's what we talk about. From that syllable, you are generating or you are manifesting sort of the potential of fire essence. That is the from the west, the energy of the red light from the goddesses of the fire elements from the west, it is generating, radiating into, and through that you are entering it into your liver, and from liver it's again spread to each and every part of your body, from crown to the sole feet. Each and every part of body needs to be filled. That is being that is being passing into part of, and every part of this part of your body is being well received. While doing that, then you have the hand gesture. Symbolically, this is the fire symbol. Imagination level, you are bringing in the form of the heat, warm, energy of healing, the temperature of the fire from from the west, and that very light radiating into your liver and then spreading it into your body, and feel anything, any part of your body is lacking the or imbalance of the fire element, make this is the opportunity to balanced and refill the energy and re-energize again, and make it healed, make it burn out if there is anything needs to be removed, and nourishes which is anything is lacking in the part of any part of the body from the quality of fire, etc., fire element. So this is how you, again, same way, and then you contemplate it until you feel comfortably and connected and receive the five element of the fire. Because fire element is one of the very important, again, this is very, again, remitted that heat or temperature of that natural, it's again, even in advanced practice of the one of the practice we call in Dzogchen, tumo, that is also connected with kind of heat generating. We are not burning fire inside, but we are generating through the seed syllables of this fire element and potential of those heat lights. So that's what we have potentiality, but we have been decreased, and sometimes we have been deprived all those qualities by simply not paying enough attention on it, what we have such a quality. So imagining and meditate on that and fill yourself again, fill it up with all those lacking, and you are being now fully strengthened the level of quality you need. Oh, yeah. So now the wind element or the air element, which is color, it's a green and a yam syllable. The syllable is a yam, which is the potent seed syllable of the wind element. The color is symbolizing the wind. Color itself is traditionally, that's how it is, the green color. So same wise, from the north direction, the goddess of the wind element is radiating through this syllable that arises the wind, the purified, nourishes wind quality of energy, that we have enough supply in our lungs. And that is, we are sufficiently and a healthy level breathing in and out, and is also supplying the wind element or the energy of the air quality in our body, what we need to rest of the part of our body. So same way we make a hand gesture, we make a hand gesture, and then we are chanting it. So imagining through this chanting, you are kind of waving the air or the wind, and through, again, the same way in the form of radiation of the pure green light, which is potentially is the essence of the wind element in the form of subtle level, it appears in the light color of green, and directly it transmits or goes to your lungs. And lungs are being fully pumped up properly, perfect measure level, balance level, essence level, nourishing, quality and healthy and strengthening. And gradually it is supplying the air element into all the part of our body, and each and every space, each and every part needs of these air elements are being kind of refilled, re-energized, and fill it up the gaps. Imbalance are being balanced. Unhealthy space and part is being healthily healed, nourishes, and become healthy. And until you feel comfortable, you chant, visualize that, and when you feel comfortably well, kind of healed, received, then you concentrate and feel that it is in a presence of that receiving, acknowledging it. Oh yeah. Now the space or empty or space part of element of the space, spacious level. That is in a syllable level, it is white syllable. That white syllable in an advanced level in a Dzogchen also, the plain clear white with no any other fabricated colors, symbolize the pure state of emptiness, pure state of purity of perfection, pure state of spacious. Within that very space, everything is manifesting, including the 5 elements, the potencies of the elements, the 5 wisdoms. Everything that is now from the spacious nature of from this very space, everything arises, everything remain in that very space, everything dissolving in that very space. Ultimately, everything, the essence of all existing phenomena, visible, invisible, material and non-material, everything, emotional, wisdom, joy and sad, everything manifests from this quality of spacious, of the within ourselves and the nature, and then it remains in that nature of space, it dissolve or disappearing in that space as well. So this space, and also it allows, when you have sufficient space, you become more flexible, you become more comfortable, you become more relaxing. If you are lacking a space, the emotional level, then jealousy became to manifest in you. Because of the jealousy, you're in trouble. Your connected one in trouble, whom you are jealousy. Jealousy simply put you in a narrow space, limiting your space. Capacity of space lackage is the jealousy, emotional. The elimination of this jealousy is generating yourself enough space so everyone is welcomed, allowed in a space with not necessarily of jealousy and avoiding and struggling and distracting to manifest or allow, rather allowing, because you are fully relaxing, because it's a sufficient space. And a space has no limit, we don't need to worry about it. Only this conventional mind is not knowing it. Therefore, we need to educate for this. So this spacious in here as element Because of this all manifestation of potential, raw level as well as a subtle level and a subtlemost level of anything, it's everything is manifestation from this nature of the space. Without space we cannot move. Without space we cannot exist. Without space we cannot breathe. Without space we cannot generate and build and construct. Without space we will have nothing able to do. It became very, very raw and stick and very inherent, what you call solid. Because of the space, you have ability to change, transform, grow, disappear, etc. So generating our space, when you are lacking space, you will have a big problem of stress, depression, anger, hatred, all sort of these 5 poisons arise. And this all arise within the space nature of your own, no any other than that. So this, in order to create enough space so that we are more freedom, we are more relaxing, we are more open, we are more flexible, the space is very important to us. So therefore, when you have such a problem of this experience emotionals, so this is what may be the best way also. And hand gesture as usual, chanting 2-3 times until you get ready for your chanting. So when you are chanting as usual, as likewise all other rest of the syllables, so you are chanting and you are generating the pure light of the spacious nature of lights of the space from the center, the 4 direction and the center. So within that very center space, the light arises, the white light arises, and it radiating to your physical part of the heart and enter into the heart, and it expands the heart capacity, or we call a warm-hearted. I always call a warm-hearted, open-hearted, spacious heart, so that you are allowing everyone and you are receiving, you're kind of giving a space to welcome. You welcome others and you are welcomed naturally. When you don't know how to welcome others and you become limited, you're only allowing yourself to be, that will not happen comfortably, that will not last, and that will put you in a lot of stress, lot of struggle, lot of energy of pressure and a depression at the end. But rather welcome everyone by simply realizing that very space has no limit of boundaries, as much as and as everyone welcomed, and you are welcomed by everyone. And when we all welcoming each other, even it's practically, if we think that you become nice to other person truly and genuinely and from your true warm-hearted, they will feel that warmness, they will feel that genuine welcoming from your warm heart. That warm-hearted has a different level of energy to manifest, and that energy fills them, that energy attracts them, that energy heals them, and that in return it heals to you by their appreciation of receiving an indication of acceptance of your welcoming, and that makes you happier, comfortable, well received. And space still doesn't matter, your space still never reduced. So we need to learn enough space to generate warm-hearted, open-hearted, means another word becoming a little bit humble, humilate in a sense of not a negative word. Humilate self means reducing the pride, selfishness, rather instead of saying I and me, thinking we and us, ours. That concept, because we existing in our society, we are not existing my society. You cannot be society by me or I. Only society comes our and we. When you truly welcome this from your, and by generating this warm-hearted spacious in you to welcome everyone and include everyone as a we and as us, and unity comes in the society. The friendship generates. So these are the 5 syllables of the 5 elements, the connection corresponding 5 organs. Making healthy of each of organs is making healthy of yourself. Ultimately, this is all a symbolically physical. More you grow up in a wisdom and a learning of these 5 elements, farther to go, and ultimately this leads to the end of this spacious means. Ultimately, at the end, all the material existence, no matter how much warm-hearted you have, no matter how much compassion you have, no matter how pure energy you have, no matter how healthy you are, at the end, this very physical body, which is a result of the cause and condition, at the end it collapses. The day it collapses, it just doesn't collapse. It gradually desolate the all elements gradually. The earth element dissolving into the kidney, the water element, the spleen. When earth element is dissolating, the spleen dysfunctions. That water element is dissolving into kidney. When kidney is dissolving into fire, which is liver, and the kidney dysfunctions. When it is being dissolved into the kidney, the liver, and that fire element dissolves. And the fire element indicates symbolically the liver dysfunctions. That fire element dissolved into the wind elements, and now the liver dysfunctions and begin to dysfunctioning the lungs. And at the end, this enter into the heart, that is ultimate space, physically, that nature of that very heart. There is a space that is a pure, subtlemost space, everything dissolving in that very spacious, and everything within that spacious, it all kind of completed the dissolution. And that is what normally physically each of these organ dysfunctions and dissolution, and each of point of this connected energy, the chakras dysfunction, and then gradually every part of, and then visionary appearance of the lights disappearing, changing, and then it goes more deeper in the state of pardo before the next birth. So then the subtle level of 5 elements became to arise 5 lights. These very 5 lights, if you are well trained and experienced in this very life, you will able to integrate it in more secret and subtlemost level, with the combining or integrating into the true nature of their oneness, into the luminosity of emptiness and light. So light of that luminosity, none other than the nature of this, the ultimate state of emptiness. And that very state of emptiness goes to ultimate state of 5 Buddha families. For example, 5 wisdom. 5 wisdom connects to 5 Buddha family. And this all ultimately, who is that? Where is that source? And where is that so-called Buddha? None other than true nature of your own mind. So this raw matter of the indication of or beginning of the 5 element is not a complete and something that I am looking forward to go further in a next stage, because this is very important in our everyday life, for our health, for our mind and mental happiness, as well as a healthy life, which is very important. And I hope, because of the time limit, And my focus now is give you a short kind of simple basic introduction of these 5 elements, nature of these 5 elements, and corresponding to our each and every part of the body, which is our functioning, breathing from lung, kidney functioning, liver functioning, right? And heart beating is properly, and then the spleen. All of this is everyday functioning. Every day you wake up, this all needs to be perfectly functioned well. So if you could repeat this practice, which I have given the teaching on the introduction on the 18th of April, the 9 cleansing breathing practice and meditation. Starting with that, and if you could practice this, every day, short period of that, you will be in a good shape in your physical. Once again, if you think this is kind of religious, so you don't need to think religious. Water is not a religious belonging property. Earth is not a religious property. Fire is not the property of religion, any religion. And the space is also not. So anyhow, these all 5 elements is not a property of any religion or any nature. It's a property of all inhabitant of this universe. And we all have a right to be deserved, and we all have a responsibility to make it life and healthy and protect. And specifically, we all have our individual right and important action, and importantly need to engage in practice to keep your health healthy and for future your generation outcoming healthy, so that you can live long and happier life. Oh yeah, so thank you very much. I hope that you got some to practice and focus. And here I will dedicate now at the end any merit we gain from this, and dedicating to all sentient beings, and particularly those all places that living in a crisis, struggling in many part of the countries that we all know about, killing, struggling, torturing, and all those be healed by our merit of what we gain from this quality of practice. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you very much. See you again next time. Oh yeah, good. Thank you.